Welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shellady, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for tuning us in. If you've been with us all day, that's great too. Well, let's see if we've got any changes since we last visited some of these prices. We were up 7 to 8 cents in corn the last time we checked, and that's exactly where we still are. How about that? March corn up 7 3/4 cents to 483.5. We've got a 9 cent range, right? We're closer to the high than the low. We're about 3/4 cent off of the high. So not bad. We're 7.5 cents higher. The price in March corn, 483.25. Can we put a 5 in front of it? The good news is you go out the deferreds, July and Sep, we have a 5 in front of those. So we are making some gains out there, but we're up between 4 3/4 and 7.5 cents when we talk about corn. Soybeans, well, they were about 3 cents lower, but now we've come back here a little bit. So either the weather reports changed or we've got some new buying in there. But either way, Jan's only is now up 3/4 cent. We're not lower. We were about 3 cents lower last time we checked. So 13.47.5 is last there, and that's in the middle of the day's range. March is up a 1/4 cent, one tick, 13.65 3/4. So we're looking at March. That's up a 1/4 cent, 13.65 3/4, and that's about 4 cents off the high of the day. And we've got a 1/2 cent loss in the May, and we gain a little loss, 3/4 cent loss if we go a little bit further out. So 13.65 3/4 is the price. That's March. We're up just one tick on the day, but a pretty quiet board when you talk about beans. But they have rallied back from their losses. Let's go to the wheat market in Chicago. That's up 10.5 cents to 5.96 1/4. That is a new high of the day. If I had a bell, I'd ring it. May's up 9.5 cents to 6.10 1/4 there. Just one tick off the high as well. That's Chicago wheat bumping up against the highs right now. How about that? Our red wheat in Kansas City, 10 3/4 better in the March there at 6.45 even. And that, too, is about 3 ticks off of the high of the day at about a 16 cent range, just over. So not bad. 10.5 cents higher as the change. March is at 6.44 3/4. Spring wheat, Minneapolis. Let's go there and see what's going on. 6 1/4 cents higher in March. 7.31.5 is last there, and that's just one tick off the highs of the day. Not bad. And that's about a 10 cent range. So that's some good going. March spring wheat trades at 7.31.5. That's up 6 1/4 cents from yesterday's change. How about cotton? We'll get to our next guest analyst. That March contract's up 39 points. We've kind of made a little bit of a move towards that 80 line. We're 79.98 is last. That's March cotton, up 39 points. Let's bring in our next guest analyst. That's going to be Tommy Grisafi. He's with Advanced Trading. I think he's down in Bloomington, Illinois, in that big town of Bloomington. Do you ever go over to the...
I'm the only person in the town not working at State Farm, Scott.
Well, do you ever go over the other side? Who works? If you live in Normal, where do you work?
I don't know if anything's normal in Normal. I stay out of there. We're just down here in Bloomington, Illinois, and I'll tell you what, beautiful sunrise. I drove from Bettendorf, Iowa to Bloomington, and there's not any crops left in the field. And I'll tell you something else. There's not any corn piles either as you come down 74 and around. Just looks like we didn't grow enough corn. Who knows? Maybe time will tell.
Well, the 2.1 carryout, it's right now they say we have. But anyway, what are your thoughts? I mean, anything jump out at you when we read off those prices?
Absolutely. First Notice Day Massacre. I gave a speech last night to the farmers, and I said, we got to do better. And you guys remind me of a bunch of Cubs fans talking about how we're going to do better and win it all next year. Winning a World Series twice every 100 years isn't exactly winning. And the American farmer has done a wonderful job at winning lately because prices were so good for so long, and they've grown big bushels. But this last one, Scott, folks who brought grain to the elevator and thought they'd price it in a little bit, or people doing basis contracts without the future set, this hurt. To watch a $6.50 bushel, but call it a $6 bushel, call it a $5.50 bushel. We had a few years to sell Dees 23 at $5.50. To turn a $5.50 bushel to a $4.50 bushel, that one stung. And we need to do better. You're doing a great job. Others are doing a great job. I like your other analysts on the shows, but we can't jump through the screen and make someone sell corn. And I explained to the farmers there's still enough geopolitical risks that keep some upside open. And we talked about buying calls, buying futures, ownership, and whatnot. But the one thing they did tell me is that land in that county, Scott County, Iowa, just traded $18,000 yesterday. So I don't know if I was sitting there's a few hundred people in the room. Probably $1 billion worth of wealth in that room, right? Just sitting there, hanging out, talking about how rotten 450 corn is.
Well, that's why I love this job, is I get to talk to all those folks, because I think that they get ignored by Wall Street. I think American agriculture is probably the largest, most wealthiest, underserved investing class in the world, and that's why I love what I do.
Can I say one thing before we go on break, Scotty?
Sure.
I asked the farmers, they were asking about the dollar and stuff. And I said, listen, let's not get involved in that. I said, are you guys and women, men and women, are you not absolutely furious that we're giving away money to every single country in the world, yet we don't have an American farm bill? Aren't you embarrassed?
Yeah. Well, what was the reaction?
They clap. They literally clap. It was I've never had that happen before. Probably happens to you all the time.
No one's ever
me.
clapped for you. All right.
No, I've been booed off stage. I told them I'm not running for election. Let's come back and do some meets after this.
All righty. All right. We're going to go away. We got to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more with Tommy Grisafi. He's with Advanced Trading. He's down in Bloomington, Illinois. We're going to come back right after this. All right, welcome back. As our next guest analyst says, we're going to go away and come back and talk about cattle. Why don't we bring up that live cattle board and see what we've got going on? We're giving back some real estate here today, folks. Feb live cattle off $2.25 to $171.22. We're still a buck off the lows of the day, but we're at the lower end of that range. We've had, a decent range, about $3.50 in Feb, but we're getting closer to the lower end than the higher end, but $2.27 lower is the change. And the price, Feb live cattle, $171.20. Feeders, what do we have going on there? They're lower as well. Jan's down $2.92. It's almost $3. $2.19.27 is last. Still over $2 off the low of the day, and we've got the rear view $3 away from the high. So we're in the middle of that daily range, but we're still lower by $2.85. The price, Jan feeders, is $219.35. Let's go to the lean hogs, and we'll give our guest analyst 60 seconds to get through it. But we got Feb lean hogs up $1.35 to $71.45. Let's bring back in Tommy Grisafi. He's with Advanced Trading, Bloomington. All right, Tommy, now you got about 45 seconds. I wasted it. But
45 seconds.
Here we go.
November to remember. The thing I remember the most about November is that the markets decided that that interest rates are done going up, where the Fed's going to make them keep going up. Gold's about ready to make an all-time high. Crude oil's been volatile. Not that bad of a month for commodities, except for feeders and corn. But there's some commodities that were shining stars. So I think we'll have a volatile December. And the market decided that's enough. Interest rates are coming down. They priced in 2 full quarter-point rate cuts. Back to you, my friend.
They are pricing in those rate cuts. And if you listen to the Cow Guy, close 1 Central, 2 Eastern, cheap plug. I think they've said higher for longer. I don't think it's going to be the case. I think we're going to, 5.25 to 5.5 is where we've got those Fed fund rates. That's more normal. I think we're normal for longer. I think that's going to be the case. But we'll see. A lot of folks want these rate cuts bad, right? But just because you want them doesn't mean it's going to happen.
There's nothing normal about the Cow Guy, Scotty. There's nothing normal about the Cow Guy.
And on that, thank you very much, Tommy Grisafi. He's with Advanced Trading. He's down in Bloomington, Illinois. Bloomington normal. It's like the Twin Cities, like Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Right. Well, and we all agree, too, nothing normal.